Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
We're in the park. It's very distracting.
Yes. It's a sunny day, so of late our park visits have been very empty, more or less.
Yeah.
Just us there. But today's, because the sun has come out, so have the masses. So, but we're going to read. And
Yes.
where are we?
Canto 3, Chapter 13, Text 12. Appearance of Lord Varaha.
Oh yeah, that's right. We were up to, I think, well, wasn't it Brahma was glorifying, very appreciative, or no, that, yeah, it was appreciating Swayambhuva Manu and his wife.
Yeah.
And his wife's name is?
Satarupa.
Aha, we're learning, we're remembering. And if you recall, we were just discussing how Kaishori Mataji, who said she didn't know anything, was able to name all of the 5 children of
and we just read it.
Manu, and we just read it, couldn't remember. And she's like, I don't know anything. Yeah, sure, we hear you. Okay, so what is it, 13:12, right?
Yeah.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
O King, if you give proper protection to the living beings in the material world, that will be the best service for me. When the Supreme Lord sees you to be a good protector of the conditioned souls, certainly the master of the senses will be very pleased with you. Purport. The whole administrative system is arranged for the purpose of going back home, back to Godhead. Brahma is the representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and Manu is the representative of Brahma. Similarly, all other kings on different planets of the universe are representatives of Manu. The law book for the entire human society is the Manu Samhita, which directs all activities towards the transcendental service of the Lord. Every king, therefore, must know that his responsibility in administration is not merely to exact taxes from the citizens, but to see personally that the citizens under him are being trained in Vishnu worship. Everyone must be educated in Vishnu worship and engaged in the devotional service of Harikesh. Rishikesh, the owner of the senses. The conditioned souls are meant not to satisfy their material senses, but to satisfy the senses of Rishikesh, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the purpose of the complete administrative system. One who knows this secret, as disclosed here in the version of Brahma, is the perfect administrative head. One who does not know this is a show bottle administrator. By training the citizens in the devotional service of the Lord, the head of a state can be free in his responsibility. Otherwise, he will fail in the onerous duty entrusted to him, and thus be punishable by the supreme authority. There is no other alternative in the discharge of administrative duty.
Wow. Seems pretty black and white, hard and fast, cut and dry, huh? What did you get from that?
Well, I like the point that to be a leader, or that it's not just to exact the taxes, and but you're supposed to be personal and care about the people under you. I mean, specifically here, training in Vishnu worship. I don't know, Boris Johnson will do that, but the point being that to care about people and their lives. And it's funny because when I was out today earlier, I saw, maybe I ran past UCH. Yeah, UCH, and they had the Macmillan Cancer Centre. And I was thinking, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think that's the government. Like these charities for cancer, they're charities. Like for me, I would rather my taxes were used to, not just to find a cure, but for those people who have it, I'd be quite happy for them to be cared for and have a good end of life, as it were. You know, not suffer. If you need chemotherapy, anyone can have it. You know, what do you need? And not use my taxes. I don't pay taxes, but not use my taxes on them.
So you don't pay taxes.
Not to use it on like smoking industry or war, or I'm saying like that, you know, or stupid literatures and stuff. That's my point, that taxes are used for the right thing. Healthcare free for everyone.
Huh?
I'm running for
Sounds
Prime
like
Minister of England. Vote for me.
Yeah, so the administrative class, they either have to look after people and care for them and make sure they're educated in Vishnu worship, or basically they fail and suffer sinful reactions. So there you go, and there you have it. That applies to everyone, it seems. So yeah. Text 13, should we carry on?
Yeah.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Janardhan, Lord Krishna, is the form to accept all the results of sacrifice. If he is not satisfied, then one's labor for advancement is futile. He is the ultimate self, and therefore one who does not satisfy him certainly neglects his own interests. Purport. Brahma is deputed as the supreme head of universal affairs, and he in his turn deputes Manu and others as charge d'affaires. Charges d'affaires. That's French, it seems. Prabhupada's put it in there. It's interesting. If you got the book, you should look at 1313. Yours says that. Charges d'affaires. Yeah, it's French, I guess, one who's in charge of all affairs of the material manifestation. But the whole show is for the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Brahma knows how to satisfy the Lord, and similarly, persons engaged in the line of Brahma's plan of activities also know how to satisfy the Lord. The Lord is satisfied by the process of devotional service, consisting of the ninefold processes of hearing, chanting, etc. It is in one's own self-interest to execute prescribed devotional service, and anyone who neglects this process neglects his own self-interest. Everyone wants to satisfy his or her senses, but above the senses is the mind, above the mind is the intelligence, above the intelligence is the individual self, and above the individual self is the super self. Above even the super self is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu Tattva, the primeval Lord and the cause of all causes is Sri Krishna. The complete process of perfectional service is to render service for the satisfaction of the transcendental senses of Lord Krishna, who is known as Janardhan.
And it's got from that we need to satisfy Krishna's senses.
Yeah, Prabhupada used too many words, and he should have just said satisfy Krishna's senses and moved on to the next. So much there, huh? I don't know, somehow it really strikes me that charges d'affaires. How Prabhupada uses that term.
Chapter 14. Sri Manu said, O all-powerful Lord, O killer of all sins, I should abide by your order. Now please let me know my place and that of the living entities born of me. Text 15. O Master of the demigods, please attempt to lift the earth, which is merged in the great water, because it is the dwelling place for all the living entities. It can be done by your endeavour and by the mercy of the Lord. Purport. The great water mentioned in this connection is the Bhagavatam Ocean, which fills half of the universe.
Yeah, so this is the beginning of the pastime, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because Manu wants to go and bring forth population, but the earth is submerged.
It's fallen in the bottom.
It's fallen, yeah, so.
Of the ocean.
Yeah, so
right.
Usually things are. Well, it's actually, it's bad to think in some places that the planets are actually floating on top of the Bhagavatam Ocean. That's how they're actually floating. That's how they're suspended in space. You can't quite see that.
Oh.
Something like that. Otherwise, because the universes emanate from Vishnu's pores, right? So they're like contained bubbles. They're like bubbles, and inside the bubble is the Garbhodak ocean that the Lord is lying on, and then out of the Lord's navel comes the lotus. Lord Brahma is born, and he creates, and all the planetary systems are in that thing. So maybe they're not floating exactly on the Garbhodak ocean, because all the universes, or all the planets are contained within the stem of the lotus, right? So, yeah. Text 16. I did hear that somewhere. Text 16. Sri Maitreya said, "Thus, seeing the earth merged in the water, Brahma gave his attention for a long time to how it could be lifted." Purport. According to Jiva Goswami, the topics delineated here are of different millenniums. Okay. The present topics are of the Svetavaraha millennium, and topics regarding the Chakshusha millennium will also be discussed in this chapter. So, means different times. So this pastime happens again and again in the lifetime of Lord Brahma. So then they're talking about two different times. So I think it explains more as we go on.
Text 17. Brahma thought, while I have been engaged in the process of creation, the earth has been inundated by deluge and has gone down into the depths of the ocean. What can we do who are engaged in this matter of creation? It is best to let the Almighty Lord direct us. Purport. The devotees of the Lord, who are all confidential servitors, are sometimes perplexed in the discharge of their respective duties, but they are never discouraged. They have full faith in the Lord, and He paves the way for the smooth progress of the devotee's duty.
Thoughts?
Interesting point. What's it? Oh, devotees might get perplexed. My understanding was they question, or like what's going, but they're not discouraged. You don't lose the faith.
Yeah, you might be confused. Why is Krishna doing this, or why is this happening?
Yeah.
But it's not like they become so bewildered that they stop altogether.
Because they have faith. So they're thinking what's going on, but they don't think I've had enough.
Okay. Text 18. O sinless Vidura, all of a sudden, while Brahma was engaged in thinking, a small form of a boar came out of his nostril.
Why?
The measurement of the creature was not more than the upper portion of a thumb.
That's very big.
Thumb.
To come out your nose, that's your thumb.
Not to come out of Lord Brahma's nose. Lord
But
Brahma
why
is
you need
like
to come
massive.
out like that? Like, why you need to do that?
Well, it was a boar, not a bogey,
Oh my God, you had to go there, innit?
You were alluding to it.
No, I wasn't. I was.
Say the things that are really there.
No, I wasn't. But why you need to do that?
Anyway.
I don't understand.
It was a boar, and it came out of his nose, and God can do whatever He likes. And I mean, Lord Shiva's already come out of his,
Yes, his brother's a bit. Anyway.
I mean, Swayambhuva Manu and Satyarupa were kind of born from. They were just expansions of him. They just came out of his body also.
Very unusual.
Well, this is Lord Brahma. He's an empowered personality. He is the engineer stroke creator, like that.
All right, text 19. Oh no, it's you.
Yes, ma'am. O descendant of Bharata, while Brahma was observing him, that boar became situated in the sky in a wonderful manifestation as gigantic as a great elephant. Text 20. Struck with wonder at observing the wonderful boar-like form in the sky, Brahma, with great Brahmins like Marichi, as well as the Kumaras and Manu, began to argue in various ways. So it's always the way. There's always some argument, no? Things always get into some kind of argument. In fact, there's about to be an argument next door to us. So, text 21. In some extraordinary entity, is this some extraordinary entity come in the pretense of a boar? It is very wonderful. He has come from my nose.
I don't think I'd see it like that.
Text 22. And I think this will be the last one for today.
Alright.
First of all, this boar was seen no bigger than the tip of the thumb, and within a moment he was as large as a stone. My mind is perturbed. Is he the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu? Purport. Since Brahma is the supermost person in the universe, and he had never before experienced such a form, he could guess that the wonderful appearance of the boar was an incarnation of Vishnu. The uncommon features, symptomatic of the incarnation of Godhead, can bewilder even the mind of Brahma. The uncommon features, symptomatic of the incarnation of Godhead, can bewilder even the mind of Brahma. So even Lord Brahma was bewildered. And if he becomes bewildered because of interactions with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, what to speak of us, you know? So, anything? Any last thoughts?
Yeah, we'd have to keep reading because it's very uncommon why he would use that place to make his appearance.
You're really stuck on the fact it came out of Brahma's nose, isn't it? Yeah?
Well, put in the comments what you think.
Well, I mean, other things came out of other orifices of Lord Brahma, didn't they?
Yeah, it's interesting personality, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it is. He is actually very interesting. I was thinking that I should do like a whole, just really get stuck in, because I was hearing some other stuff the other day, and I was just thinking, yeah, Brahma is really fascinating, and he's the head of our Sampradaya.
Yeah.
And we often just think of him, in, at least I do, in kind of isolation of, okay, yeah, he was born on the lotus, he tried to steal the calves, he got chastised by Krishna. You know, it's like quite simple. You know, they always go to him when they have some problem. But actually, there's a lot going on with Lord Brahma. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, not only is he's the head of our Sampradaya, but he is the original engineer. He's the first living entity in the material world. I mean, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
And you can see the Lord appears out of his nose. Lord Shiva comes from his forehead. I mean, he's an exceptional personality. He deserves a lot of respect. And he's got 4 heads, for God's sakes. I mean,
All right.
Rajraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki. Thank you all for tuning in. And please, if you want to set, we're really doing a last minute push. Not to push anyone, but if you'd like to sponsor a set or that for Bhadra Praneem this year, we're trying to distribute 125, and I think we've distributed 75. So we just have a few left to distribute. Hare Krishna, all glories to Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.